Hey guys, this is Dami24, and today I'm going to bring you a little bit of some Tiger P live commentary. Tiger P is one of my favorite tanks. I've had it for a long time. Um, when I first started playing the game, playing World of Tanks, I wanted to play with the Tiger tank. Let's see, where's the right there? So when I started playing it, I came down this line right here, the 35T. Got the 38 NA, and I absolutely hated it. Got to the Panzer IV. If you look on my channel, there's some Panzer IV gameplay from back in, I think it's August. Some Panzer IV gameplay. Then I went on to the 30,001 P, which I also hated. Finally came up to the Tiger P. Tiger P is a pretty good tank. Not gonna lie, I kind of like it more than the Tiger, even though the Tiger is the tank you see all the time on the History Channel and whatnot. But let's see. Let's back out of here and get back to the garage. So as far as the Tiger goes, it's got a nice upgraded gun. It's a nice 88, long 88. It's got 203 damage, or 203 pen, 240, 240, 295 in the rear. It's a good overall gun. You can also use it for the Tiger, and I think it's also available for a couple other, for the VK. You get it for the VK as well. I think I have that on my VK. Yeah, I use that long 88 because the 105, the rounds for the 105 are, it takes longer time and everything. You get less pen, you get more damage, but you get less pen, and it costs like $1,000 to shoot one of those shots. So, shoot one of those rounds, so I don't use that. But anyway, that's the gun. The armor on this thing is a beast. 200 hull armor, 120 turret armor. The Tiger, the regular Tiger, has 100 hull armor. So you double your hull armor with this bad boy. So what that means is the gun is nice and accurate. It's going to be, you can brawl with this tank with that hull armor, but you typically, if you're lower tier or whatever, you're going to want to sit back and take sniping shots. But when you play with this tank, get this armor right out in front of everybody. Let them shoot at this hull armor. With this 200 right here, it's going to be really hard for another tank to pen it, especially lower tier tanks. I've gotten I don't know how many steel walls with this thing. It's just a beast. As far as the crew goes, my crew, you're gonna want 100% crew, obviously. My crew, I have a bunch of. Let's see, I'll go right down the list here. My commander's got Mentor and Recon. Gunner's got Deadeye and Repairs. He's working on his repairs. I'm working on the second perk already. Driver, repairs, and clutch braking. This thing turns pretty slowly, so you're going to want to have that clutch braking, but not before repairs. Radio man, I got situational awareness, so it's just going to extend that view range. You always want that. Repairs, working on that, so this thing repairs really quickly. And then safe stowage, so I don't get ammo racked, and repairs as well. As a side question, and I'm not sure of if you guys might know the answer, this thing can handle a lot more ammo, but I leave it about half. In my opinion, I think that's going to cut down on the possibility of being ammo racked, but I'm not sure. I'd like to know what you guys, if anybody has tested that out, or if anybody knows any information about that. If you load it up, if you have a higher likelihood of being ammo racked. And as far as equipment goes, you're always going to want to put improved vents on there, which is going to add to your skill, add to your crew's skill level. You got your gun rammer, large gun rammer, which is going to make you load faster, which is amazing because you want as many shots on target as you can get, especially with the 203 pen gun and a 240 damage. And then I have Binox on here. The reason I chose Binox is sometimes, well, I like to sit back with this. A Tiger tanks, you don't want to brawl with a Tiger tank, even with the Tiger P if you can help it. I understand it's got the 200 hull armor, but you know, these things, you just, if you've played a Tiger, you know that it's not what you imagine it to be. So you're gonna get killed more often in these things. The American tanks and the Russian tanks are 10 times as good as these things are. But I just wanted to play with this tank to begin with the entire time. So anyway, long story short, sit back with this tank, and that's why I have the Binox on there. So if I can command the line and snipe and try to help out in that area. All right, first game, Ruinberg standard battle, where we are top tier. Quite a few tier stuff. A lot of T29s in this game. One other Tiger P on the opposing team. But in this map, heavies go into the city so you can get away from arty. Mediums play around in the field out here. As far as tank destroyers go, tank destroyers should be pretty good right down in here because they can kind of get shots on the opposing team. Usually, if you've played the game a little bit, you know that it's a big fight in the center of this. Usually, a big fight in the center of the city.
Let's go.
So if you have the tank destroyers back here, you should be able to get a few shots on those enemies that are trying to play around in the center of the city there. So being a heavy tank, I'm gonna go into the city, especially with this armor, and I'm a top tier tank. I can afford to take a few. I can afford to take a few shells into the front of the tank. Don't give them sides. Take it in that 200 hull armor. Speed on this thing is not bad. It's not as fast as the regular Tiger, but it's not horrible by any means either. Usually what you want to do here is you want to get into a race to get into the city, or into the center of the city, so you can kind of keep them back, keep the enemy back. See, we're pushing her pretty good, so we can afford to move up. And the nice thing about right here is if any of these guys get a little too carried away,
Punched right through their armor.
you can take out that track for them. Try to track them. There. That T-29 there, as long as we get this other guy out of here, that T-29 should just get rocked. Oh, he must have had a repair kit.
Penetration. Enemy is hit. Ready to fire.
See where my buddies are.
Where'd they go? Penetration.
I can't believe I haven't tracked this guy yet. You see that binoculars? If you're watching the bottom of the screen there, the binoculars come on
Enemy is hit.
after 5 seconds. You move a little bit, wait 5 seconds, and the binoculars come on. See, look at that, nice bounce.
Looks like that one went right through.
Get that front end,
Penetration.
keep that front end to him because you got all that armor.
Enemy is hit.
Evidently that's not working. I've hit that track I don't know how many times. See another nice 2 bounces right there.
We nailed it back.
Trying to track me. See what that crew repairs? Look at how quickly that thing repairs.
Repair. Drive on. That's gotta hurt. Penetration.
Evidently the T-29 doesn't want any of this guy.
Looks like that one went right through. We've lost a track. We've just digged him. We fixed the track. Let's roll. Our ammunition rack is hit.
I don't know how I get ammo racked in the front, but It happens. See, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this C29 for cover. Since he's got more health than I do, let him take the shot.
We didn't even scratch him.
Yep.
Vehicle destroyed.
Yeah, that's the one problem. They can back up faster than you can. I thought something happened. All right, I don't know if that guy's talking to me. But that's the end of this. We'll see how this plays out actually. You see these guys in the field did a very good job, and now they're flanking the enemy. All these guys have to do here is just hold them. Just hold them. Let these mediums and that in the field. Whoops, I think I passed them. Yeah. What the? Oh, we lost that guy. Lost a T20. This is gonna be a close one. Panther is gone too. What's he gonna do here? This could be. That's good. Oh, and a miss. That's key right there. Those misses like that are key. Cause look, we got the Tiger P with 48% health. Oh, that reminds me. Let me see if I can. The one weak spot on this tank that you really want to shoot is the cupola right there. You get a commander out of there, and he took a little hit there. But that's the one weak spot. It's much easier to pen him there. Don't bother trying. A lot of people will try shooting the machine gun hatch here, the machine gun, or the driver viewport or whatever. That stuff is pretty strong, and it's not worth your time. Don't waste your time and your shots on that. Shoot the cupola instead. And conversely, if you're driving the Tiger P, hide your cupola. Or any tank, really. The cupola is key because it's a lot weaker than most of the. We're gonna lose this one right now. Nice little bit of tea. Nice oolong tea. Yeah, I think we can effectively call this one. See, this T-25's got to get his nose out there more. He's just got to man up and take the shot. You let the other one take too many shots at him. But let's see, we'll get into another one real quick here after we get back here. Let's see, what did I get here? Sniper. Sort by XP. Not too good. Let's get into another one. Dragon Ridge. This one, this one is nasty for heavy tanks. A lot of twists and turns here. And since the heavies are a lot slower tank, you're gonna basically just want to get into position and just sit there. So first thing we look at, tier 8 game. So you know that we're mid tier. Both teams have a couple arty pieces. The way this usually works is mediums will come out onto the far side, onto the west here. Heavies will usually battle. Heavies and tank destroyers will battle around this area in the middle here. Occasionally, a couple heavies or tank destroyers will come along the east. But there's a city in the middle that's typically where a lot of people will fight, and you can shoot down from that city on the outskirts of the city, like right around here, onto the people fighting in the east. Whoops. one trick that if, I don't know if you know it, but if you're gonna go off a hill like that, don't go down on an angle, because then stuff like that happens. Go down straight. That way you won't get tracked or anything. A good thing for mediums to do, like that Comet did, is try to get out into that city area and hold it, or at least scare the enemy long enough so that the heavies can get up in there.
They blew off our track. We're stuck.
Let's shoot 152.
Drive on.
I usually don't buy repair kits or anything for this tank because, first, like I said, unless you have premium, it is incredibly difficult to drive these top tier tanks or these
We've hit the
higher tier
bar.
tanks because it just costs so much to repair them. And you notice how I can stick my front end out enough. I mean, I can take a shot or two, but I'd rather use this tier 8 as cover. You know, you don't always have to use buildings or rocks or whatever as cover. You could use other tanks, especially tier 8 heavy, or top tier heavy. Get behind them, use them as cover. And then also angle your armor like you saw that I had there. It makes it a little more difficult when you angle your armor for enemies to pen you. I'd really like to be able to keep these guys down and keep these guys on the east here down on in there and flank them, and then this proverbial shooting fish in a barrel.
That's gotta hurt.
All that nice rear armor.
Nice shot.
I just gotta watch out.
We've lost the track.
Where did that
We're
come from?
immobilized.
Oh, come on.
Let's go.
He barely made that one.
They're knocked out.
Come on, gun. See, the reason why I can sit here and I'm not too worried about it is I got that other medium tank helping me out in the back there.
Penetration.
Tracked. Let's move up. I want to knock that. I know he's only a tier 7, but he can still, you know, his gun still does max damage. You know what I mean? Even though he's... Okay, now he got knocked out. Even though he's at 10% health,
We've got them.
his gun still does maximum damage. He's gonna just white near off the...
Bounced off.
Come on. Now we do the old runaway. Oh, that's nice.
Enemy is hit.
Let's see if we can't get a little bit of
We've lost the track.
cover.
Looks like we're done for. Everyone get out.
That's alright. It was still pretty nice there because we had them all down into that... wow, we got... I didn't even see that, but we got toasted 4-14. Well, such is life, I suppose, but it was nice that we had them all down into that... That's what I mean, you can get up there and you can shoot down on them from the tops and the sides. We had them all bottled up into that gully or ditch or ravine, whatever you want to call it. And we could just shoot down on them, but apparently it didn't pan out like I had hoped. But I'll get into one more game here since that was a quick one. Okay. Redshire standard battle. I got a tier. It is technically a tier 9 game because we do have 2 tier 9s in here, but it's primarily a tier 8 game, even with those tier 9s. The way this map works is you're gonna have the opposing team. If you played it, there's a ridge, like a tree line. They're all gonna sit up on that ridge and wait for us to cross. We're gonna sit up over here and wait for them to cross. And that's just kind of the way it goes. Because I am basically mid-tier and a sniping tank. I'm not driving a. The Tiger is not a heavy tank that you want to just. You don't really want to brawl with it if you can help it. I'm gonna sit up on this ridge back here and see if I can't just take snipes. Just snipe people from distance. Wait for a while until after a few tanks have been gone, and then push on from there. But not too early. You don't want to push too quickly. Usually what you want to do is when you want to be aggressive, but you want to wait until you get a little bit of an advantage, if possible, then become aggressive. See, IS-3 was going where I was gonna go, so I'll come back right here. Now when you angle your tank, this is a good point. This is a good time for me to make this point. Angling your tank, you can see I'm using this rock here as cover, and the outline of my tank. The way you can tell if you're behind cover is you look at the outline of the tank. If it's solid or basically solid, it means you're covered. It means you have a tree or whatever covering you. See, if you look at that, well, you can't really tell from that. The exception is the gun. The gun doesn't have to be behind cover. And I also have my tank angled. See, while I'm gonna have to move my positioning a little bit, I have the tank angled, so if I take a hit, it's more likely to bounce off instead of if I had my tank straight like that. It's gonna be more likely to pin me if I have my tank facing it straight. But if I kind of have an angle to it, like so, it's more likely to deflect it. You don't want to go too far where you start showing off your track, because then you can get shot on the side. See, that's a good. Let me back a little bit more. I can sit right here, use this little defilade, this little rolling hill. Shout out to JC something or other. I'll put you in the annotation. He told me what the word was for a little rolling hill like that. I really appreciate it. It's a defilade. The little defilade there, the little amount of earth can give me a little bit of cover, and the rock as well. So let's see. This is probably a bad idea for those tanks to push the way they did, because they're right out in the open and they're subject to a lot of crossfire. Yeah, and I can get shot right there, so. I'm not too worried about it. I think that T-28 can take him to town. Let's see if I can't get just a little bit.
We nailed him bad.
Good. See, that's what I mean by angling my tank. Even though he should probably be able to pen me. I have my tank angled, so he shoots the front end on the angle a little bit, and it allows me to, I could just,
Penetration.
good. Allows me to survive the shot. Thing I want to watch out for,
Penetration.
I don't want the
Back hit.
T-28 to get flanked like that, and he just did.
Can't move. That's gotta hurt.
So even though I'm gonna die, that's alright. I want to cover that T-28. I want to protect him because he's more important than I am. That's alright. Well, sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you get flanked, you don't know what's going on, you can't see anything, and sometimes you're just gonna die. And you know what? When that happens, you just gotta try to help your team out as best you can. I took a couple shots I did some damage, took a couple shots, but I tried to protect the back end of that T-28. Sometimes that's all you can do, you know? Just gotta try to hide there and realize that that Tier 8 tank destroyer was worth more than my Tier 7 heavy. So, such is life. I hope you guys learned something from this. I guess, you know, it wasn't the greatest gameplay. I didn't come out here to destroy 14 tanks and get all these medals or whatever, but they're teaching points, you know. You learn the pros and cons. You see what other people do. You see, if you don't learn what to do from them, you learn what not to do. You know, so hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked this commentary. I learned a little bit of something, made you maybe think something differently. And please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me below in the comments what you think. And be sure to subscribe because I'm going to be coming out with a lot more World of Tanks stuff. Check out my Becoming a Better Tanker series. Got a lot of good tips there. I got a lot of good comments from other people with tips and tricks as well. Check that stuff out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.